MPP for research no mukoye ye no omudi aba but kai say before say MPP for beto aba no when him say research team be headed by Professor Samuel Edujemfi. I'm very sure said this week obeye in central phone share mu na sa research no mu ye no na mu mpese ebeba abonten. In fact enkeba abonten kra de ankebe west one shan MPP benya be 20% because of the choice because Professor Samuel Edujemfi ebe kire de enti a wan fa sa research no ama but me pese me twa ho mfoni kakra ema wo hu sa research no any ties are net that so Professor Samuel Edujemfi history and political scientist ewo Kwame Nkrumah suapomu omun a team ene keka bomu wo mu yes research no research no so omuni yenso ye ka bomu particular research no person mu hwe say why na likely say anka opatna Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia anka betimi aboa no na ebaye no nso nsɛm ni bebree na te sɛ napo candidate no bibi esi Jeff Kokor ne so na a project but Professor Samuel Edujemfi I'm sure said this week obehia central for na wa kyerɛkyerɛ mu sɛ Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia choice of napo no Ghana fo hu ne sɛn na owie ye no nso report na eba ye no any de esi ye nyina no nso it was confirmed say sa research now no it was in order. However, the entire one ma de na ma bontene before elections no ehonsem nso ebeka ho asem enu nie 2024 kai say sa research no Professor Samuel Edujemfi LED ye head of research Eugene Osei Tutu enso nim sa research no ho bi team no nso ka ho because hamre no na ye hwese candidate Ben and Kebetimi aboa Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia na research sense ono na ye no yentimi nka ho nsem bebre but this was the researcher team ni ye unim se media me catch us na podie mo yi ni ba obewe me catch them MPP for se munim dada me kan se na podie mo yi na obewe obesem mo omam obewe cheso omam vote ba kokra obi a onim bia on record me kan ho asem because apart from Napo bia ye de bebe bia no obetimi aboa Dr. Napo nko ade me ka kire say obema MPP kura lusu mo obi anim records no so ho. However, this research okay my many head of research en kasa Eugene minim say professor we be din komo so mo take but research na ye den so obebubo so kakra ma here.
And I think that largely they wanted to just look at the vice presidential candidate. And going into the election, share vice presidential candidate for each of the political parties now. The vice president play a role, especially we share the major political party. The first time we representing a Muslim candidate on a major political party, NDC NPP. Right. So the vice presidential conversation was very important. There was even an alleged BNI NIB report on it. So professors Edujemfi and K University also wanted to understand the perception of people on it. And in fact, share Afrobarometer transfer, a little bit of that. Show more last serving on by going into the elections. Share NCC the by matters of concern to the Ghanaian people. So it was a very interesting one, especially at the time and that dynamics came into play, and also because of 2016. And I'm one of the firm believers that in 2016, Bawumia contributed significantly to the NPP vote. Right. He was able to capture the middle class and actually the economic analysis or yes seminars na mama na NPP dinechi. He broke down the economy to the layman. In fact, and I'm say the economy becoming part of Ghana's campaign and the dynamics. Now Bawumia play a critical role. That is why I always said I have enormous respect for him. Now going forward, as a producer for Love, if my deba kwa master didn't say Nana MPP lose ye o peke cost na. You rarely find people attributing the MPP defeat to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Nana is strange. Yeah. And I think that even the researchers should go into it. Nana had about 4 series of programs, my personal channels, and I have quite some number on social media. Hardly will you see even core NPP, NDC people blaming Bamia for the defeat.
In fact,
it is strange.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, reporter would send them an which is almost the view into the document because the authority Nangasa or chair committee the reasons that the people are adducing for the defeat of the NPP, hardly will you see anything directly Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So it tells you that who was becoming as vice president in that contest was very important. And I mean, so my choice win him publicly. But I felt that Napo ticked the boxes because the NPP was clear. They needed an Ashanti ticket. They were clear. And I felt that then, if they needed an Ashanti ticket, they needed the experience. Because they didn't have a Apostle Poku, I felt, if you take the likes of Dr. Edu, you might feel that two-term member of parliament, because about 2016, I felt he has almost the same leadership style as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a bit reserved, intellectuals. And I feel that our politics also have that. And then chairman said, diplomacy. As a gidini kakra. So I feel that balance. So Nana, I feel that style. But I like somebody like Comrade J. Japan. You see, and also was a brute in Kakara because of his issues.
But also to combine diplomacy and all those things.
So Nana, I felt that generally the NPP didn't perform because of a lot of factors. We go into it, and Honorable Chairman Sabons is here. He's an authority on this, but we can only speak our mind based on the research, but he can also give us insider information. One of the reasons I also felt they lost the election was how they handle the parliamentary issues. And Yamin Kwana Meka, Eugene Akebi, I've heard several members of parliament, Honorable and Apia Kubi, Akebi, say how the party almost forced the change in the leadership, they didn't that decision didn't set right to most of the members of parliament. So a lot of factors when you go into it, but I think that the research, maybe Professor Dujenfi will look back and say that KB and Kode by and NPP best, but and I felt that the NPP commons so much. Now flights are normally altitude are normally playing for. I don't think anything could have changed their mind.
But Richard, and I feel the project quickly now, because I mean, me I can just executive summary. Professor Samuel Dujenfi, history and political scientist. I'm sure say Ochina Obeyen Central for Ishiemu. Na watching obekasa into obeme yehu de e so nti we project kakra emaye, and it's good say honorable Osechi Mensa wa ha. In fact, this document me share my few people be and because time I make say na po ebegumo party no empanyufo bi frame MPP fo bi frame say anitina meka nam se me na po ye minia minim no omoamo oya hantan ne kasa nye omoamo meka ni straight say one fa ba kokran kam ho. I was straight on that obi anim on the record, but still na eja analysis nature say ono a
answer another your choice for
bibusa ona busi o say chimens say na wonko na minim dey tell me bibusa say papa wonko because an kenyo many bi wo
so no need you listeners
but once na papa person stay back
necessary
they were fast call any
na ono person stay back and I say na party no
Debbie on the
dynamics I wish we ask him because na me question my come busa and say okay bro mu yi munta kan Harry na Idrisu no and I remember the position I took that the things they were being accused of approving ministers being added after forcing came didn't they approve ministers? They were accusing them of corruption.
Right.
Nana, in fact, Harry Reduce in a vet, and when he was asked that question, you can clearly see the man was hurt by some of the things the party did. And I agree with the lines of Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh that we need to get to a time at the party, yes, though they go to parliament on your ticket. But Nana Sabe, members of parliament, no one young Kolasa, Utionabu and the Apia Kubi. He's a lawyer, a very experienced member of parliament. Utionabu Eugene Entria. Most of them, it didn't sit well with them how they change the leadership. Now, even the committee handling, how some of the members of the committee, now, for example, finance committee, I didn't like some of the changes there. You see, so Nana, I wish you ask him. Because Nana would see any speech in the last speech in parliament, and I wish all the boy. You can deduce. You know, me, I like sentence analysis. When you pick the words you use, when he was yes. Honorable Chairman Sabons. When you do a sentence analysis of the last words, I will content analysis
in research.
As majority na they ba kwa mission Keno as chairman, themes and patterns. Your research, you pick the themes and patterns. The man wasn't really That is me analysis. He can disagree with me, but he wasn't really happy.
All right.
And I thought that all those things, and I had any pano for, and the Biana Mekana, the political parties on me and say, oh, Alan Co or Yang. But to nipa know what or the for. So how you handle such matters are important.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Project just conclusion, because Professor Edu Jemfibeya who is just a conclusion of that research. You know, research was about the strategic impact of vice presidential candidacy on the new Patriotic Party 2024 electoral prospect, a survey of public perception and preferences. Inti eno ho adwuma ena ye no kofoso ye I Love FM na katwi kakra inti fato so mame quickly na ye nto aso quickly na okay conclusion ni inti makacho say we de ye wi aho keke Professor Edu Jemfia be chire mu de na etie ba ne was ye teaser keke but we no research na e dey chere say ebia vice presidential candidate ne betumi abo Dr. Bawumia. And in the conclusion said the finding indicate that while Dr. Prempeh is widely recognized, that is Napo, his candidacy faces significant challenges due to the dissatisfaction and the mixed perception of his impact. Dr. Yao Osebichum is perceived within that time as more favorable choice, suggesting that his proven track record and public appeal could offer strategic advantages for the NPP to enhance campaign effectiveness, addressing public dissatisfaction and aligning candidate selection with voter expectation will be crucial for the NPP success in the 2024 election. But I said, time of the research in the buy no near Yina Pewi.
But announcer was when you pick the first paragraph, I say Napo was widely recognized. Experience.
Yeah.
Or Parliament, if I'm not mistaken, 2008.
Yeah.
Right? I think Tamambe, he was one of the longest serving members of Parliament. And Opobi of Ashanti region. Apart from Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, the young guys, he was the most experienced and he didn't bow out. One. But Anna Shadio say, faces significant challenges due to dissatisfaction and mixed perception of his impact. Now, as I analyzing Napono, the only thing I mean as a researcher, and I'm making a push strength is the base of the MP, which is the Ashanti region.
Yeah.
Because we tell Dennis Miracle, and he's my friend. The analysis was that they knew that the election was tough. So they wanted somebody to galvanize the base of the party, which is the Ashanti region. Because, Nana, when you look at the numbers from 1992, when 10 people in Ashanti region saw
English,
Nana, Osha your numbers in the data from 1992. Say nipa 10 Kotoaba was Ashanti region, at least 7 Ebetom NPP. So clearly, Nana, with a voter roll of Ashanti region voter roll, just about Nana, I think 3.2 million. Maybe refer it and I can get it. So almost Kotoaba boom, almost to 80%, 85%. The NPP had a brighter chance to win the election. Because Nana, the last election before 2024, no, Ashanti region alone cancelled the difference in 9 regions NDC winning here. So the difference I mean here is that you have 16 regions. NPP winning 7. NDC winning 9 regions. The difference, Oti voter NDC nyaye. Every MPP, Oti MPP nya free NDC di anymore. Regions will win. The difference, no. Ashanti region with 1.7, 1.8 million cancelled it. So onya Greater Accra 70,000 difference, no. Eastern region Kakra. You've won the elections. But I don't see. Educhum is perceived as more favorable choice, suggesting that his track record and public appeal. And I'm a cousin, look at the perception about free SHS. It's just like Mohammed's issue with the labor. I could forward to 30%. They were crying. 10%, they've accepted it with less noise. Why? The difference is the leadership. Because the leader was able to talk to them that this is the state of the economy. Normally, we do this adjustment in relation to inflation. Though inflation is over 20%. Mesamobo, what's in the finance minister? Also, because single day gets 8 plus or minus 2, which is around 10, right? Or much 10%. But just about 12 months ago, they were complaining about 30. Why? Is it because they didn't trust the finance minister and President Kufuor some inflation beba form? Or be reduce the cost of living? And no trust Mahama. So it's a very interesting. Free SHS now when you say Mrs. Kobe. When you see Dr. Educhum or Ben FM, now can free SHS in Shema. Before a month for this year compared to Temanana Power. There's a difference. You may not like it, it may not be a day between the research approve it. But for me, subjectively, me show money per two, no more by a public engagement. The way a man for accept edutum, I'm using the same education minister portfolio rule. And then I put there was a difference. There was a difference. Nana, currently, Parliament. Honorable Che wo kakra. Any afenyo de no. Don't you see a difference as a broadcaster?
Yeah.
So there was that difference. But I felt that the NPP needed somebody or better organizing base, and they felt that Duchum couldn't give them that. Because on hindsight, we cannot do the analysis. But then I felt that they thought Napo could give them that base, you know. And I went to me and farmer. So I think that Prof was spot on hindsight. He was spot on because Ashanti region for the first NDC almost 33%. the number of seats are not winning the fourth Republican dispensation. Now 5. So it's almost winning what 7.
All right.
So it tells you that the region just couldn't deliver.
A quick comment. Na member we na fe honorable Osechi Mensa Emra.
Yeah, Nana. I agree with you, Chin. Say na someone talking about Napo. No, yes, na MPP focus. No, so Napo could actually galvanize the base for them. Also, a grassroots.
That was the initial
initial thought, no, because we're a grassroots person, and in fact, sa no mokai, but Ohe Napu Oba si ni mua enoma as a sign, and I don't actually blame him solely for sa MPP lose. And I said omo lost omunya, you know. The fact is that Ohe at that stage the economy, how to defend things at that time, the contributions of the president at that time, who is the head of their party at that time, Nana Danko Ekufuado, or any performance, na o de Kwako Shim, Edia She, Sebit Miabua Womu, even though Napo is not the right choice, and commit me agency when your percentage push be, Edia call anymore. Nana don't so performance to Fem. What I say, Nana don't so contribution, no, Eka, and the more fairly more. But touching on a Duchum Sudiano, and then Napo, now Eugene, which I disagree, Kakra, especially Okas and Napo or Kasa about education. It seems like he had more applause than ABI Duchum on that hand, no. Me, I disagree because we had Duchum innovation.
Is the other way around?
Okay, on the other way.
So it's in tandem with whatever you're
saying.
So he believes, say, ne Duchum Kasa,
sure,
and Kofortia here because Okano. A quine be so magan nino on penasum crana
sure
as compared to Napo.
Sure, and that is the point. Yeah, the person wants to do the innovation, but or the innovation by education.
Yeah,
and the way we see the normal ebeshe mono kasa utimi point to say adiwe media ba my way my implement way me the nimdia way abekan, so he was able to make the public know say onimdia wabeye, and of course he could campaign on the obeye within the education sector. And obviously, educhum ebeye more popular them. Obey more popular them will be a huno in the side of education.
In fact, the higher say MPP for ya last minute.
Sure.
And no money project and new man and the Kufu.
Sure.
And even that one did the magic. Or call UTV or call people say now man we will da.
See.
And no matter how because a year to
Nana UTV no hear comments no.
It was positive.
Unum say akwe Maximo Sameto. One of the things of the predicted election is social media algorithms. None of them started the Mayama, Mepe time Mayama. Osha, the key sector Kufu to perform and its legacy is education.
Yeah, sure.
We are there. But most of the projects started under Dr. Prempenapu. But did you see them?
David.
Yes.
Obviously.
So Edutum took time to tell the education story. As a health, they couldn't tell the story. Nana health, omu we konongo. Omu ye fomena. Omu ye people, omu ye kumewu. Omu ye bekwai. Aman for join say bekwai e reject. Enye reject an NMSI. A champon. Bekwai 120 bed. A champon hospital.
Right.
President Akufo-Addo completed it. Ombe ye 500 bed no wa. Right?
Yeah.
What single documentary tells you about it? Omanye. Until final agenda, more rashes on So Nana, so there was that lack of educhum innovation and as educhum no or educationist.
Yeah,
that's his field. And I one thing about the pen as I'm saying, maybe no symposium or can be was say before you enter politics, or no do can have a career. And I think say no dance on he when he speaks to issues so when any nyadwen krana approach at the becon different because an amounts are experience no oma wunya I don't know how to describe it but na osa orano What I say? Said you only in Adrian you cannot really, target him to insult. Now, as a Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, you may not like him. You may say that will never be a camera, but his personality as a person, really, how can you say Bamia Muadie? How can you say Bamia Diatem? Now they do maybe on Emma cry, none fair. Like put you to say, any star, now so person force you.
Now, we are the one to do
exactly.
Cry
so
on the platform.
He was cast in the mood of Dr. Educhum. That's why I felt the NPP didn't want that two candidates.
Yentiye on the issue of Napo, dear ye can't want them, Ubia would name ye, but for the sake of records, mean to me, who the NTR, well, NPP for no man be busame, but of course. Me kind. Okay, you fan to Facebook na you fan to so. In some way can fan.
That time no musi yeboa.
Some no musi ya NDC.
Enu komu di yatemwa.
Some na kind dey na say ya tag NDC pa dey say. Enti fa to so ma me Jeff na afi yentie on the issue of Napo.
Sure.
Some no kra dey me kind because no ma tete se ebia Napo ne beba. Enti ye dey to so. In some way kan ye fa Napo. Ntie sɛ ba omi apɛsɛ ɔhwe na ɔhwe toa so hwe paa na fa na pobra akayi nana se ba na po betimi ayɛ popular ɛwɔ Ashanti region delegates mo abetimi ato aka sɛ ɔno mpɛ but sɛ wopɛsɛ ɔhwe toa so paa na wode fa na po ɛsɛ abɛka ho ba omi ayɛ at least enim sɛ wode obu adeɛ kɔfa obi a ɔyɛ ahantan kofo bi oya arrogant kofo bi a onim kasa onim nipa kasa emra se Ghana for no so de na po ba be kire yen fa ne kire yen nehwe se Ghana for be to amawa nti mama right now what is the campaign game MPP before kasa enya stem ne free senior high school no
free senior high school is
education abo MPP more than any other sector. Who doom so mu o energy minister to make catch some am koye mu timetable etoto ayampia and say ba umi awo ya me apusi wa yes na po fa na po bre say we dey e mo amasem Inshra 104.5 Kofi was clear.
Yeah. That you can't see me very well. Say arrogance no dey make kasa. Am I? Hey, my media tempo. Ebisi enti say you got it go. As video too full.
Yenso na ne apemu you. Enso so mo say NDC na Joma Hama me sika na de. Ade nso ye peni yi.
Kapre.
Ne. Inshra 104.5. Okay, so question ben apese obusa honorable say Chimensa.
Right, said the origin this say no. Na me mpese bi hu say DNT pa na papa yi. Ghana will be any so boy MPP a Chimensa bunsu parliament. Ultimate papa inka. Time promo opposition or minority. Hey, Ghana force what come out for no, just where you spokesperson for Ghanaians. No, come on, and I'm a hammer say, as we say, na Ghana for Tom, and Ekobane saying now, when you buy a send case with me be room. Nankanya Shekra, vice presidential candidate.
On that Papa
Yantinet.
You do also then episodes.
Mine is on the data. On one committee or down on executive summary mention, and I raising some of the bias MPP Lucy. I want him to speak to all the reasons for me. Almost a one delegate system. Okay. And now he's reported to have said, say, a national chairman contest him or beko. In democracy, acclamation is allowed. In 2020, president an acclamation. Or say regional and national officers vying for parliamentary race, and one of the reasons. And they build one of the things on Katuru say the leadership style. Where you report on it, so it's not directly him. It's what the 47 constituencies need to buy.
Right.
I'm saying the leadership style of President Akufo-Addo, which people perceived as single-minded.
Okay.
I'm just quoting the document. Nana almost say an intransigent. Nana say intransigent. Oh, right.
I feel no more.
That's the document. That's what I'm quoting.
But documents, I feel no more.
And almost say the perception that the government was controlled by the family of President Akufo-Addo. And the perception that the president single-handedly controlled the party. So, there are four things. The delegate system, the control of the party by President Akufo-Addo, the control of the government by President Akufo-Addo, and why people felt that the governance was single-minded and intransigent.
Okay, good. Jeff Project Way, recent one, Global Info Analytics for in Kakra, no more person. the omususu say a contributory to the defeat, the other things. Fatos ne project MI out of 100% no. And yoma bang ena ekekabo mabusia de koni nyina no data and research. When you say in share for multimedia, yenka say a data research and ye de kan some great and da hono research head mpacho boame kakra global info analytics nyoma omo I say which of the following individual groups or people do you blame for NPP defeat in the 2024 elections?
Nana we na make comment ni bi ni me nya pick any research and another make say subjective analysis bit me by research no global info and Musa dan ko predicted NPP be lose da me kwa benya abem which was absurd and no kind no be edi natem or predicted percentages and abem so you can say that it has a bit of momentum obusa say DNT na NPP lose election 80% so we fani pattern a to say yes as survey bia na he nipa 5621 NPP in fact research no me here was Ashanti region nipa omo fa no per numbers am just about 2000 so meaning that this sample size is even bigger 5621 8 out of 10 say President Akufo-Addo 9.7 1 out of 10 said Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Members of Parliament and the party executive say 1%.
Name is not bad. It does confirm the Omoke say. And an Akufo-Addo na no dictate free so. And we MP are why they na beka. MP nisika, Obie nisika. So then it confirms say Nana Akufo-Addo na ne dictating MP unyeska. Most of these MPs, even when you are a minister, now being the so-called team mafias now, what would happen? Unyebi party executive crown but clearly this one confirms the report in interest say na Akufo-Addo and I know yes on to my no problem so